lot of wood. We got our wine accompanying us. And halfway done. It looks so flat, taut. Lead came as a frame and extra structure and reinforcement, and then we're done. Alrighty, so I am just about to head out to a holiday event, and I thought it'd be fun to kind of share my outfit because I only pull this knitted vest out once or twice a year. In the spirit of a festive event, I should show up kind of looking festive. This knitted vest that I'm wearing was actually supposed to be like a sweater. I did the arms and everything, and then when it got to the point of actually like connecting the arms to the actual body of the sweater, I genuinely couldn't be bothered. This was like one of those projects that when you like inspiration strikes, you're kind of like, I need to follow through with it. But this lazy girl didn't want to do the research. And then I just thought like, it's probably more practical being once again in Southern California that I probably don't need the full on sleeves because I would just be burning up. And so yeah, this was actually like, aside from doing a beanie, like 2 beanies, this was like my 3rd project. And like going from a beanie to a sweater is just, what was I thinking? In the past, I've worn it this side. But today, I like my options. I wanted to wear it this side front. And as for the bottom of my outfit, I'm wearing this skirt that's from Madewell. And then I'm wearing my trusty old mules. The brand's Dansko. They definitely cater to a huge market of nurses because nurses are on their feet for like 12 plus hours in a day. For my accessories, I wanted to share about Ana Luisa, and I'm so happy to be working with Ana Luisa again. I honestly love working with them. They're so sweet, they're so easy to work with, and they just put out awesome product and quality product. Like, what more can a girl ask for? So on my ears here, let me show you this side. So the bottom is, or my first hole is the ash double two-toned, I believe. So the top hoop is gold and then the bottom is a silver color. So this is kind of like me experimenting with wearing two-toned colors. I've like always been a gold girly, but I think this is a very subtle way of like kind of mixing metals. My second earlobe is called the Duo. And what's really cool about these earrings is like you can slide off the bottom hoop very easily. And like this was from a different gifting, but you can easily put like these pearls. This is the double pearl. You can add it to the hoop if you wanted to, or you can just like replace it. I'm kind of a maximalist when it comes to my jewelry. I love wearing big jewelry, chunky jewelry. I'm such a fan. On my neck, I just have the gold chain. This is the tiniest, most delicate of chains, but once again, this is an everyday staple. I don't take this off. I'm sleeping in it, I'm showering in it. You can even add little chains. Honestly, like now that I'm looking at it, you can even just strap this pearl that was from an earring, strap it on to the necklace as well. Honestly, the possibilities are really endless, and I feel like a piece like this is such a good gift to give because of all the reasons I just stated. It's an everyday wear. The person that you're gifting it to is always going to think about you every time they're getting ready or look at themselves in the mirror. And like you can also add all of your like really cute unique chain or charms. If you wanted to add different charms, different initials, maybe the initial of your boyfriend, your husband, or like your dog's name. So all of Ana Luisa's jewelry, I would say, is pretty affordable, and they're running a holiday sale at the moment. So hurry up and snag all the pieces, especially if you see anything that you like on me and you can kind of see how I modeled it. I believe their cheapest piece starts at $39. So it's once again a really good, very affordable gift to give somebody. I'll have a personalized link in the description that you can use for a discount code, and you can be Ana Luisa'd out like me, and yeah.
The studs on the wall, on the board, and I'm gonna screw it into the board first.
Okay.
Yes, I need your help holding this up. Roughly there. That's good. I don't want that one.
Oh. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Okay, that's pretty strong.
Yeah.
And it doesn't even interfere with the bins.
You have a good rocking point.
Wow! You're like a flying squirrel. Whoa! It looks like you take up the whole room. Wow. This is so exciting to me. Wow, the lights are so cool. What the heck? What? Is this even more? Is this the... I guess Chick-fil-A's doing something right. Come to Chick-fil-A and experience this. Oh my gosh, this is so cool. Wow! This is so cool. I love when it changes to a new design. 94.3. People are gonna be like, whoa, where'd you guys... That's right. People are gonna be like, where'd you guys go? Chick-fil-A? That was a really good idea. That what like $5 cutting board has gone through a lot. We're at Home Depot looking at the selection of Christmas trees. And I don't know, when I was younger and my parents got Christmas trees, I never thought much of it. But these things can easily go for $150. Oh yeah, that's what I'm talking about. This is what I'm talking about. 35, okay, even $35. Okay, put it in perspective, man. Do you guys understand? Have you guys been understanding from my vlogs that I'm very cheap? If not, I am very cheap and I will fully admit it. Putting it in perspective, you could get a fake tree. Let's like not even say secondhand, like from like Target's or Walmart's like clearance when it's like past season for maybe like $100, and a fake tree lasts you for the rest of your life. And these trees are like a minimum $50. And then you gotta haul it all the way home. And then put it on top of your car. Oh man, who has this type of money in this economy? Ugh. Jeez, anyways, well, I ultimately won because I found a thrift store 2 Christmases ago at the thrift store for $30, and it's like a 7 to 8 feet long tree. And it's beautiful. So we're just perusing. We're not buying. We're just perusing. But kind of puts in perspective. These things are really expensive. Oh, that was it. That is darling. A whole family of logs. Very cute. But for $50, not so cute anymore. So here is the fake tree that I got from the thrift store. This is, would you say this is like 8 feet tall? 7 feet tall. It was in the box and everything. I don't know if it was brand new, but it came with the box. So very proud of this purchase. It was like $30. Anyways, we don't have any ornaments because we decided we're gonna do this thing where we're just gonna fill our Christmas tree with ornaments that are from scrap, from projects that we did that year. So let's give you a tour of what we have so far. Starting chronologically. So this one I don't know, you can use your imagination. It might look like a deer, might look like a heart. It might look like a V. This one looks more like a heart. But these two were from these planter projects. This planter and the planter on the right. It was all the scraps, so as you can imagine, there was like, you had to cut these things at an angle. So whatever remaining angle of the rectangle we used. And I just had the idea of gluing all of those scrap pieces together to make this heart thing. What I still need to do is make this, I guess, look more final. And wow, this camera quality looks really good. And I need to drill a hole in it, potentially sand it, maybe give it a coat of some sort of finish. But for now, we're leaving it at that. Another thing we need to think about, which I don't know if, yeah, we need to think about this a little harder, about like how to commemorate that it was from that year. Because right now it's easy to remember because there's only like 3 years worth. But I don't know, like, should we just Sharpie it or put tape? That might look a little bit sloppy. And then this year, I mean, this was from last year, because last year we went up to NorCal to visit David's family. His mom was cleaning out their storage room and had a bunch of like yarn for crocheting or knitting. And so I got really into crochet that one Christmas and I kind of dropped off. But anyways, before I dropped off, I made David a beanie out of this kind of like mohair-y looking yarn. And this was kind of my test sample piece before I changed direction and did something else, a beanie design. And so I just had like a strip of this fabric and I thought it'd be kind of funny to make like a scarf. David was saying that it'd be funny to make like a mini beanie, which is still a pending project. I might do that eventually. And then this is the most recent year. So this, as y'all know, we did a stained glass class in our local adult education college. And so one of the classes, we had like an extra 45 minutes or something left of class. And so our teacher just said that we can do anything we want with basically like scrap pieces. So I like to think that this piece that we did in like the second or third class kind of really inspired our big pieces, because as you can see, there's like geometric shapes on these ones. And I feel like maybe subconsciously I was like, I kind of want to do a bigger one of this. This I kind of want to do a bigger one of. So maybe subconsciously I was thinking, oh, we can do that. And then this also is made out of scrap. Yeah, we were tinkering with the idea of making 3D glass. And so conveniently, I mean, we had a lot of scrap glass from those two big pieces, those two big panels. So we just looked up on Pinterest and Etsy, and this design looks simple enough, and probably completed this in like 45 minutes. And so this kind of like has jokingly been our tree topper, because we don't own a tree topper yet. Maybe we'll make one in the future. But yeah, I'll just leave it here for now. So yeah, that's our little Christmas tree story. I could definitely fluff it up a little bit more, but it's only me and David looking at it, so who cares? And then just today at the thrift store, I found this garland thing. And like, I'm telling y'all, like, you need to be checking your local thrift stores, especially during this time. So that brings me back to, I found this garland. Like, I have not positioned this where I want to position it yet. As you can tell, it's just flopped over on the banister. But I think it looks so darling. I actually found one at Salvation Army that I was gonna get, but it looks so cheap and it looks so just tacky. And I think these little red berries really sold it for me. Something about like red in a sea of green is just so cute. I don't know, I'm like getting so like, it's so aggressive, like I'm getting so aggressive, it's so aggressively cute. So I think eventually, maybe tomorrow or one of these days, I'll put this up on the shelf and just like string it along here. I think that would be a good place to have it.
do is you just shove these on the bottom because no one sees it. Go like this. Bye. And it's gone.
Bye-bye.
Disappeared.
We're ready for our painting.
Temecula called Galway Downs. The menu. That's nice.
It's so good. I'll get you something.
Wrapping gifts for a baby shower. Karina and Jackie. Jackie is actually, a fun fact, one of my biggest fans. So here's the Jackie shout out. Everyone in the comments say we love Jackie.
Congratulations on the
And
baby.
congratulations on the baby. Does anyone else put a tape on this seam, although it's gonna be tucked in? I do it because it makes it easier to work with. I don't know if anybody else. And just so Karina and Jackie know, David also helped. Let's see your craftsmanship.
What?
Okay, questionable origami folds.
No, this is how I do it.
Actually, fun fact, on our first date, instead of bringing live roses, David made me origami roses, which I thought was so much cooler because he had to like look up tutorials on how to make it. But you gotta make sure that this is covered. And I still have those origami roses to this day. You ever have those times where you feel like your body type is so, or you're just so mean to your body because it is so not this, it is so not that. Like I was just thinking like I'm wearing this jacket, which I love dearly. And when I actually first bought it, it was tight on me to begin with, but it was kind of just something that I was like, oh, but it's such an awesome jacket that I'll just like get through it. And that's kind of just how I've gone about. But every Christmas when I like pop out this jacket again, or not even just for this matter, but like when I'm doing the seasonal rotation of bringing my winter clothes out and my summer clothes away, and then I'm just like reminded of clothes for like that I haven't been thinking about for like a year, it just reminds me and like sometimes makes me a little bit like sad or in my feels because it's like clothes that like you haven't put on for a full year, so things might fit differently. Anyways, so I was like complaining that like this jacket, like it's tight around my chest area, and then I was like talking about like, oh, maybe it's because like I have a climber's body, and like climbers, like their upper body is naturally a lot more like built, so naturally I think I've always had this problem though that like my shoulders have always been like my biggest muscle of my upper body, and then that compounded with my I have a pretty large back, and like so jackets, as you can imagine, just feel always really tight on me. And then not to mention, I mean, I can drone on and on, but like my forearms have been getting bigger and bigger as I've been climbing more. Naturally, forearms are a muscle that climbers use a lot, and you don't realize that having big forearms is an inconvenience until you're wearing like a sweater or something that's kind of tighter around the forearms and wrists. And so anyways, I was just like complaining about all these things, and then I'm like, you know what, I just need to Another thing, the reason why I'm complaining a lot about clothes too, in terms of like fit recently, is because like in this era of COVID, I feel like we're just not used to wearing like regular day clothes anymore. So the everyday comfort of like wearing PJs or like athleisure, and then when you have to like go out and actually wear like an actual appropriate wearing out outfit. Not like saying wearing pajamas and wearing athleisure is not comfortable to look, or not appropriate enough to wear out, but like when you kind of want to put on something that's like not just like what you would wear around the house. I think naturally we've been programmed now to feel like that is the new norm of wearing those things, and then when you wear something like jeans, for example, it's like, whoa, like it immediately, you can't help but immediately be like, did I just get fat? But it's like, maybe it's not. Maybe it's just because you're not used to wearing something tight around your waist because you're just wearing like sweats all day. So anyways, all to say, what are my final thoughts? I am, first of all, extremely grateful that I have David, because he always is a second opinion for me whenever, like, for example, I feel really fat in an outfit and he's like, no, you really look fine. He reassures me. And also just like someone to have that is so patient and like never rushes me. Not saying I take a lot of time to get ready in the first place, like I don't wear makeup usually or anything like that, but I get annoyed at myself because I'm like, gosh, do I really need to try on the 6th pair of pants? No. So I just have having somebody to reassure you that you're not being a big inconvenience, you're not being a nuisance, is always really nice. So I feel very grateful for such a supportive and helpful partner. Anyways, we are now on our way to look at some lights finally, after me trying on like, okay, that's an exaggeration. I tried on like 2 different pants, but both pants I was like, I feel so fat in this, let's just choose the better of the 2. So yeah, anyways, not to be a party pooper, we're gonna see lights now and you'll see my mood change within like minutes. Oh my gosh, look at the detail. The candy canes and the little icicles. So cute. Oh. Wow.
How do you even get up there?
In classic Kat and David nature, we had one task that we wanted to do today in the garage, which was to clean up all the sawdust. We've been doing a lot of woodworking projects, so a lot of sawdust has accumulated naturally, and so David was tasked to vacuum it. And then as he was vacuuming, I was like, well, I want to be doing something. And so we've always had this like road work ahead signage that was in our garage from previous tenants. I honestly don't know how this was accumulated and at what point. We just have lived with it, and David and I joke that because there's construction nearby, we're always like, we should just drop the road work ahead sign in a construction zone. No one will bat an eye. But then I was like looking it up, and I didn't want to like be crossing any boundaries or doing things potentially illegally, but a lot of these forums that I was reading said that it's fine. Usually if you just leave it on the side of the road, somebody will come and pick it up anyways. There's like a delegation for that. But anyways, all to say, we were looking and complaining of the sign for like months since we moved in, and we were just like, God, that sign is such an eyesore, da-da-da. So when David was cleaning and vacuuming the garage, I was like, you know what? I bet that these washers and bolts are pretty useful to still use, so might as well just like unassemble it or disassemble it, and then at least we can salvage the screws and the washers and that. But lo and behold, when David and I put our resourceful nature together, good things happen. We were looking at these like the metal brackets basically where the sign sits. So just imagine that the road work ahead sign kind of sits right here, and it's on these metal, like an A-frame almost. And so we were like, these A-frames are at like a perfect 90 degrees that it could actually work to like hold our shelves. Because if you can imagine, like the 290 degrees are like this, and we can have the piece of wood just sit perfectly on top. So naturally we were like, well, duh. Like, I went to go, so I proceeded to go take out the metal brackets out of the recycling bin and was like, okay, let's do this thing. One of them has a little kink, which David is trying to bend back into place, which is not a big deal at all. Again, this is gonna be just like a shelf that's storing our, like, you know, that random garage storage that you just kind of don't have a place for and you don't really want to look at it and it's an eyesore. So anyways, we were doing that and then we were like, you know, if we're going to be making shelves, like, we should really kind of make this a closed off space because we're not going to be really grabbing for these items a lot. This is our definition of what excites us and gives us a little thrill. So we were like, we should put an actual divider so we don't see everything that's behind this kind of like alcove, because it's just, once again, things that we're not grabbing for often and it's an eyesore. And so I was like, I believe like a previous tenant or something left a curtain, like a shower curtain, or just like a curtain that kind of like divides the restroom from the bedroom. I was like, I'm pretty sure I can find it and we can use that. And then David was like, don't we have that random metal pole that's in the laundry room and we don't know where that came from? And I was like, yeah, you're right. We can use that as the curtain rod. And then slowly and surely, I was just like scavenging the whole house, looking for all these random knickknacks and kind of trying to investigate like what part goes with what, because everything was just in separate places of the house. Anyways, we came to find like a cap for one of the metal rods. We don't know if it's actually intended to go together, but we're just using one of the metal rods to put on the wall side. And then we found one of those like curtain rod hooks just randomly in a closet in the office room. And I remember like distinctly looking at that little curtain rod holder and just thinking like, I'm just gonna keep it there, like it does no harm, like we're not gonna ever use it. And then when we were thinking about installing this divider thing today in the garage, I was like, I know exactly where that piece is and we could use it. So we put up kind of a partition. So anyways, we're just thrilled because we spent absolutely $0, like actually $0. The wood we're using for the shelves is from, once again, my parents' pergola. So we've just been slowly chipping away at using all of this scrap lumber. And yeah, it's just like, this is the thrilling stuff. This is the stuff where you're like, yes, I'm not buying more unnecessary stuff and I'm being resourceful and using what I have and giving these things a second life. Otherwise it would have ended up in the trash. I will say the road work ahead sign is in the trash because I don't want people to be like, these hooligans, these kids, why are they stealing road work ahead signs? So that is in the trash and I'm very glad to have that in the trash and be out of sight, out of mind. So anyways, it's just kind of a funny story because we've just been complaining about this road work ahead sign for like months since we moved in and thinking like, should we just dispose of it? Should we bring it to the sheriff's office and have them dispose of it? Like, what do you do with these kind of things? Some people were like, just use it as decor. And I was like, heck no, I'm not doing that. So yeah, anyways, come along, I'll show you what we're up to. For these two, so the idea is that it's just gonna sit like this. Yeah, and then we're gonna screw the wood to the top. This is so sexy. And then if you don't even like looking at this, which why wouldn't you? It's so much organization. You can just, yeah. Although it's not the most pleasant to close it because it's so scratchy. Wow. You can't even see what's in there. It's a big mystery. Maybe the piece of wood sticking out in the oil pan does give it away a little bit. Just do this. Now you can't tell, just aside from the piece of wood that's sticking out there. Wow. But when you peek inside, all of our stuff is here. The bottom is car stuff for now. This is all camping and bouldering stuff. And then this is like where we stored some extra home stuff like blinds. This is a water pump, primer. This is for a tiling job. A random wakeboard that was not ours. Grout. We have a dog cage. Anybody want a dog cage? Let us know. Hit us up. We don't need it. We don't own a pet. Wow. And then if you don't want to look at that, you can look at this. I can't get over that. Is this my proudest home renovation? Just kidding, no. Hardwood flooring is definitely more satisfying. The terrible videographer that I am, I did not include it before. I'll just explain it though. This had all of the oil change oil, so we dropped that off at AutoZone, Pep Boys, one of those, and Pep Boys, and then we finally have a designated hook for our climbing shoes. We used to just have a random ladder here, and then we just hooked it there for some reason. Here are our step stools. This bottom left, I think I already described this earlier. I added more down here. These are things that we just either don't have a place for or grab for kind of often. This cardboard boxes I sometimes use to ship bigger items. This lifetime fold-out table is just gonna have to be here for now because it's our temporary workbench. Here's the router table. Items that we have not yet put a place to, but will eventually. Here's our two levelers. Just things that we grab for often are kind of on the wall. And then this was kind of tucked away back there. These are power tools we grab for often. And would you look at that? There is an outlet back here. We did not know that this whole time. So when I would be sanding here, I would have to bring out the big ass extension cord and then have it all the way come here. When I could have just, it's just the simple things in life right there. So we're using it as the charging station for now for the impact driver, the drill. And then here, so this previously used to be over here on this side, but then the whole issue was because the toolbox was flapped open like this. That's why we never saw the outlet back there. So I don't know if this does any difference, but at least it's open so I can see it through it. So anyways, that's tools, power tools. These are power tools that we grab for really often. It's great because it's by the door, so like if we ever need the laser level, we can just grab it there. And then all these sanding tools is the tools I use a lot, and I do my sanding here sometimes, so that's nice. And then this is kind of like a WIP, work in progress. These are things that we may need eventually, but don't need as often as these things. Our shoes, this is just a disgrace. I need to figure something out for that. And then this is also like tools that I don't know why we have like 6 times, 5 times multiples of. Toolbox, which is obviously small tools that we grab for often. Here is kind of just our makeshift shelving. If we were to do things differently, we would have done bigger pieces here, which we still can because we have longer pieces of the pergola wood. So as you can tell, things are kind of just like grazing out of the surface. And this L bracket has a little bit more room here. So we put like our finishes up there, our sandpaper. David has his drills here. Then we put other tools. Here is our scrap wood. As you can tell, we use everything. This is a piece of hardwood flooring that I messed up on. So we just cut off where the brad nails were, and then we're now using it as the base to hold the rest of our wood. And then once again, being resourceful. This is actually like one of those mop holder things that retract when you put a mop through here, but we just decided we needed a place to have for clamps anyways. So I was like, yeah, what the hell, just use it to store clamps. And then these are just things that the things on the floor are the things we're using on a every time basis when we're woodworking. Once again, this is the leftover pergola wood. This is the shop vac and the table saw. But look at this. David cleaned up all of the sawdust off the floor. This was like a film of red. It's kind of funny, and it smelled like cinnamon because Sapel for some reason smells like cinnamon. So and then here are bikes. And we only have one car now, so we actually have a lot of room to just woodwork. So we imagine we're gonna park the car on this side, and then this side is just gonna be the woodworking half. Yeah, we literally woke up this morning like, oh, like we should probably, you know, vacuum all of the sawdust that's on the floor from doing all the woodworking. And then this happened, which is no complaints at all, but I'm really most proud of this thing. I think I was like getting a little stressed just looking at all these things that didn't have a proper home. So thanks again to Annalisa for working with me on this video, and be sure to check the description to shop any of your gifts using the 35% off. Talk to you all soon!